January 4th, 2017, Buckman Ski Shop, Reading, Pennsylvania. I'm here to get boots molded to my feet and learn how to enjoy my YouTube money without feeling guilty. Bruce, the boot fitter. He's straight from a Norman Rockwell painting, complete with an apron and a salt and pepper mustache. I forgot socks. I was supposed to bring socks with me. The only socks available here were $22 a pair. They're called Smart Wool. They were very difficult to get on. I started skiing when I was, I don't know. But I only changed my gear twice in my life, and today's the third time. My first pair of skis, they must have been from 1991. They were Blizzard 150s, straight skis. My second pair of skis were in 1998. They were Roginals 185s, an early version of parabolics. And I had those for, almost till recently, when I broke them, the bindings and the core. Skied them to death. And now, my third pair of skis, 2017. They're K2 Amp 75s, 177 centimeters. There's a big line for Bruce, the boot fitter. There's always lines for people like Bruce. Bruce's. People wait for Bruce's. There's one boot cooker, and it doesn't turn off. Seems like everybody in Berks County wants to get boots fitted. The gentleman who was here before me had gigantic calves, and the top buckle isn't closing. Bruce cuts new notches to move the clips further apart. A monitor on the wall loops a video of a smiling Wonder Boy snowboarder in a black hoodie underneath a sleeveless denim jacket. He hand plants on a tabletop, and he does a barrel roll. A gimbaled GoPro follows him out to the parking lot, where an Audi station wagon awaits. He opens the hatch and exchanges his snowboard for a skateboard. Oh good, this ski resort, wherever he is, also has a skate park. And back in the lodge, a halter-top girl pulls her pussy wide open, getting ready for when he's done. Tuesday, January 5th, 9:10 p.m., Blue Mountain Skier Area, Palmerton, Pennsylvania. First day out skiing in maybe 5 years. My new Solomon molded boots and these K2 Amp 75s with marker bindings carved better than my war-scarred vocals. Oh yeah, there was a fourth pair of skis I forgot to tell you about. In between the Roginals and the K2 Amp 75s, I had my brother's vocals. He gave up the sport, and I took his skis. I didn't even ask. I figured he'd mind or even know that I was using them. And I re-drilled the rear bindings so I could fit my boots into them. And the handling of the skis was very weird. There was too little tail. Anyway, I used them a few times and somehow got used to how terrible they were. Rather, how short they were for my frame. Because I mean, they were junior skis. They were made for like a 13-year-old. But these K2 Amp 75s were more stable and confidence boosting. And I jetted down the top of the challenge, and I didn't stop for the falls, which is something you're supposed to do. I went over those things blind. I felt like a kid. Speed in a car is fun. Speed on a motorcycle is better. But speed on skis is intoxicating. A few runs later, I yard sailed right on Main Street, the exact same place I did it 17 years ago when I just got my Roginals. This time I had a helmet on. The funny thing is, as I was going down, I was less concerned with my own head, or head injuries, as I was at scratching my new Smith goggles. Good. Get your ragdoll crash out now, and not on the 25th, in front of Eric Pedersen and other guys. at Mammoth Ski Area. Tuesday, January 10th, 10:44 p.m., home base. 34 degrees outside, just above freezing. This rain will slush the snow. I won't head out to Blue Mountain until Sunday. I hope the groomers get the chance to do their thing. Today I picked up a prescription for my mom. CVS is the reason classic cars have toy cars perched on the air cleaners at car shows. Get this. I figured it out. Old men get their opiates from CVS. And they shuffle up to the counter where a display of toy cars sit, as neat as church pews. And most of the cars are classics. Mustangs, Camaros, Cadillacs, Chargers. And the placement is brilliant, too. The car rack is 8 feet from the counter. See, CVS only staffs their stores with 2 people. One works the register and the other one hides. So the line to check out snakes all the way back into the aisles. And the standalone rack of cars is perched perfectly for all the boomers to get a good 10-minute eyefall of those toy classic cars, just like the ones they have back home in their garage. Gotta buy something. Thursday, January 11th, 10 p.m., home base. Today I drove to Reading to write with Roman at our favorite coffee shop. Cooks and baristas there talk about which of their friends are fucking which other friend. The coffee is rage strong there, and I drink a lot of it and I pee a lot. Silicone Sally is covered with road salt. Now I have to film RCR new key change from a promo video. I've been meaning to do this, but every time I remember to do it, I feel tired and it's late and I'll do it tomorrow. I have the excuses of an artist. Tomorrow, I really do have nothing to do. I feel both pride and guilt explaining what I do to other people for a living. I like to lie on my belly, prop my head on pillows, and write. I have very poor eyesight. Without my glasses, I can only focus on things about 5 inches in front of my face, but that's fine for writing. I take my glasses off, and I just bury my nose right up to the notebook, and so the only thing I can see is the page and the pencil. I like the sounds of a mechanical pencil as it moves across a page. The cheapest stuff at Staples says Staples on it. I wonder what it's like to keep a woman happy. Nah, that's the wrong thing to think about. I'm just boring. I rather write than talk. Tomorrow, after filming the keychain video, I should drive somewhere and just write about what happens. A lot of these statements begin with the word I. Does that make me vain? I had a middle school teacher who said if we start sentences with the word I, it means we're vain. Paul Vakula, you're affecting my writing even to this day. January 13th, Friday, 1:03 p.m., Lower Paxton, Pennsylvania, which is the greater Harrisburg area. I'm in an H&R Block, which is also a TSA pre-screening station. I've signed up for TSA's pre-security service. I'll let you know if it's worth it. I wonder if my paperwork will go through in time for the Mammoth mission on the 23rd. Probably not. It's only 10 days from now. Adam Ruins Everything told us everything we needed to know about the private security firm called the Transit Security Administration. I think it's called that. They're not the government. They're an independent company contracted by the U.S. government. If the TSA was the government, I wouldn't be waiting in a retail accounting office in a strip mall along with Five Below, Guitar Center, Dick's Sporting Goods, and Lifeway Christian Bookstore. Saturday, January 14th, 7:06 p.m., home base. I did little today. The sky was overcast, and so is my memory. We haven't had the sun in days. Lots of people frowning in the market parking lot, just like Pulp's common people. Snow falls and melts, and what doesn't melt turns into slush. 4 out of 8 defroster lines are working on Silicone Sally's rear window. I'm writing a proposal letter to someone in Kutztown University's electronic media department. I'll take an intern this summer, hopefully. And hopefully he can get RCR's podcast off the ground. A radio behind me is tuned to the classical music station. It makes this place feel lively. The bassy DJ murmurs. I can't understand what he's saying, but it makes me feel fulfilled, or rather, it fills the air, and I'm happy knowing that there are events happening somewhere else, and that there are somewhere else's. Pennsylvania hills isolate communities into separate valleys, and sometimes it feels like these gray towns are all there is. Southern California is on another planet. January 19th, sometime in the afternoon. Temperature was 45 degrees today. I took the Falcon out. I met a 65-year-old man with a green all-stock Ford Maverick. He told me he was 65. Well, I knew he was 65 because he told me he was 65. I told him that I'm going to have the rear gearing changed from 373 to 327. Maverick Man said 308 would be better for cruising. I told him with some sadness in my voice that I already bought a 327 ring and pinion set. "Oh, you should be fine," he said. In my dreams, I cuddle an unknown being. January 21st, 10:35 p.m., home base. The Falcon's more highway-oriented 327 rear gears are in, and I drove VF in this milky rain and mist, this weather that won't end. It's very nice with 327 rear. The overdrive kicks in at about, I think, an indicated 55 miles an hour, which is probably more accurate at this point. We also changed the speedometer gear. I think it's dead on at 50 miles an hour, but it gets wonky on either side. We had the speedometer app on my phone and just compared it against that. I was able to take it out on a section of a Pennsylvania highway that does have a speed limit of 70 miles an hour, and one of the few areas we have. And at 75 miles an hour, at an indicated 70 miles an hour on the speedometer, you are going a true 66. So that's, for a 55-year-old car, come on. It's doing its best it can. The best it can. Anyway. It's been weeks since we've seen the sun for more than 2 minutes. Townies look down while they walk, but they smile when they see a red-orange old car contrast all this gray. Sometimes Facebook messages wait for me when I get home. "I saw you on 78. Facebook is more popular than Twitter in rural areas like this. The gym was empty tonight, but I held back on singing along to Sister Christian by Night Ranger, just in case someone came in. Tomorrow I fly to San Diego. I still get dressed up and put a tie on to fly. Do people treat you better if you dress traditionally? Maybe it's my imagination. There's still packing to do, but I'm lying on the floor writing. My natural state. My happy state. Charles Bukowski said that he was only interested in the next word, the next sentence, what he was going to write tomorrow. I feel the same way.